All right, girl, sup?
My mic's off.
It's on, baby. We are back with episode 42. Wow.
Part 2.
Talking about all the episodes today.
Speaking of episodes, nice, Chris. Good segue into some lame Star Wars news. All right, Star Wars Rogue One hits theaters in the next coming week or so.
Wait, we
December
have a listener.
16.
We have a listener who's a Star Wars fan, big Star Wars fan. Is it Luke?
No, I don't know.
Somebody was giving us crap last time we talked about this.
Yeah, probably Luke.
That's Lucas.
Hi, Mom. So, what do we think? Star Wars Rogue One. So, if you're not familiar, there's a trilogy that started in late 70s into the 80s called Star Wars. 4, 5, and 6, and then they followed it up with some awful prequels, 1, 2,
You
and
may
3.
have never heard of this series. It's a bit obscure.
And a little bit, kind of esoteric. And so that's what we do. We look for the esoteric stuff and we dig. And so these new ones that are coming out are
the
like...
7th one came out last year.
Which was solid, 8.5.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah, it was good as a standalone story. I mean,
It's not standalone.
No, but I mean, if somebody had never seen 1 through 6, you could go see it. It was fun and enjoyable. I know this because I'm someone who had never seen 1 through 6 at the time.
Really?
And nope. And so I enjoyed it, and then I went back and watched 1 through 6, and everything made sense. So now Rogue One, a Star
Except
Wars
the things
story.
that don't. Like
You should
Luke
just watch
kissing his
4,
sister.
5, 6. If you haven't seen 1, 2, and 3, don't see 1, 2, and 3.
Well, I mean, okay. Yeah, they're not as good.
I mean, that's pretty much the order of how good they are, right? 5, 6. No, maybe I put
4 and 5.
6 ahead. I like Return of the Jedi.
4,
the
6,
best.
5.
I would say
then-
6, 5, 4, 7.
I think 5 is the best of them all.
8, 5, 7,
Yeah, I
5,
liked
3,
Return
09.
of the Jedi.
Well, I would have liked Return of the Jedi a lot more if it wasn't for those little bear things.
The Ewoks?
Yeah, I hated the Ewoks.
So,
But you got Boba Fett
pew,
getting eaten by a
pew.
Sarlacc? Or falling into the Sarlacc pit?
No, I like 6.
Did you say
Yeah.
Snorlax
I'm just saying I like
pit?
5 better.
Sarlacc.
Like 5 is the only movie that doesn't have like a major thing that I find to be real cheesy.
Yeah.
So the whole everything Ewok in 6 makes 6 a little worse for me. In 4 is just kind of slow and plotting, and so I think 5 has a good pace. It's got a good story. There's nothing extremely cheesy in it. That's why I like 5 the best.
We just want to talk about 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, so 3.5 is coming out this month.
Exactly.
And so that's why we kind of
Rogue 3.5.
So here's the trailer or here's the description of the movie, okay? In a time of conflict, a group of unlikely heroes band together on a mission to steal the plans to the Death Star, the Empire's ultimate weapon of destruction. The key event in the Star Wars timeline brings together ordinary people who choose to do extraordinary things, and in doing so, become a part of something greater than themselves. So the human quest to find meaning,
Like all the other Star Wars.
as this
let me-
story
let me
attempts to
say
answer Nietzsche's question.
Let me say it before somebody else does. No.
Lame.
No.
Beat you to the punch.
I think the trailers look pretty good.
I do too.
I think it's gonna be a pretty good movie. But there's one thing that's starting to bug me, which is, can we get off the Death Star?
Okay.
Like the Death Star
What do you want to get on instead?
The Death Star is the focus of 4. It's the focus of 6. It's essentially the focus of 7. It's another Death Star, except it's a planet.
It's like the sandcastle of space.
Yeah.
It keeps getting torn down, and they keep rebuilding it.
Yeah, it's just again, I think this is gonna be a good movie. I'm going to enjoy it. Chris, I could totally hear you clicking a pen.
Yeah. So?
Yeah. Whatever. So, I mean, I think it's gonna be a good movie, but I kind of wish Star Wars would not do Death Star for a little while.
Well, they kind of have to for this one.
Well,
because they're getting the plans for it. It sets up the 4th one.
So that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Right? I'm okay with that. But
I mean, as much as I'm tired of the Death Star and thought it was the...
I'm just saying that they have an entire universe, and
not really.
a lot of their stories focus on Death Star.
So where would you want to see it go instead?
Good question.
Explore Cloud City.
I mean,
Maybe
I would
the politics of Tatooine.
I wouldn't mind them going back much farther in their history and maybe talking about like early Jedi and early Sith.
Rise of the Jedi,
Yeah.
Return of the Sith.
Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah, or like
The games covered.
now they kind of wiped out the old canon, but in the old canon there was a lot of stories about sort of secret Sith kind of in corners of the universe doing nefarious things. I wouldn't mind them building on that a bit.
Doesn't it seem like everything else from the canon is more interesting than the actual movie?
Yeah.
Like all the stuff from the games and the books and everything else.
Yeah. Apart from Jedi and Sith, I like the idea of following kind of like more standard characters. But I just wish it wasn't like to get plans to the Death Star. I wish it would have been something else. I wouldn't mind learning more about I don't know. I kind of lost my thought there, but sort of the rise of because in between 6 and 7 they basically make the Empire almost a religion, right?
Mhm.
When you're in 7, they never come out and say it, but there seems to be a religious aspect to what they're doing. It's not
Capitalism.
it's not just political anymore. Kylo Ren,
It's like a new empire, right?
right? But Kylo Ren seems to religiously revere this idea he has of Darth Vader.
Was it just me, or did they not really establish what the bad guys had, or what happened between 6 and 7?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to figure out.
Yeah, but but that's kind of the style of Star Wars, which is sort of anti-quality in this case. But like Star Wars is always like, here's what is, accept it, and we're gonna just run with it,
Yeah.
right? There's rarely did Star Wars ever give strong backstory. It kind of just made you feel like there probably is a backstory, right? But
Yeah.
like
They
you,
couldn't be bothered to actually write it.
yeah, but never actually did it.
Someone else will write the books that fill in the gaps.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened with Star Wars.
Yeah.
So, but I think Rogue One's going to be probably a good movie. It's one of those things that Disney has a good track record with its really its high budget films. Marvel films are essentially high budget Disney films.
Yeah.
And they're usually excellent in my mind. And it's one of those things like you have enough money to throw at something. If you know it's going to make $1 billion, you can spend a ridiculous amount of money making sure it's worth that $1 billion, which is what they seem to do, right? You just spend enough money to make a quality film, you'll end up having a quality film usually.
Yeah, I'm just afraid that people are going to expect me to like this because it's Star Wars, right? Just it's like, well, okay, well, what did you think of the movie? Well, it had like these substantial plot holes, but dude,
Star Wars.
Yeah.
it's kind of like, meh, a little bit overrated. Series is kind of like the Beatles, in that it's like, yeah,
Dude.
solid, but
Dude.
not the best thing ever.
Are you serious right now?
And so that kind of gets a little annoying to me to
But
have to constantly deal with that.
Josh, it's the Beatles.
We
Yeah.
should do Josh's top 5 overrated things.
Yeah, I'm pretty
someday.
sure our top 5s would match.
Probably,
um,
really.
And so I will go see this movie, like I will go see all Star Wars movies, because it's what the kids are into, and I have to be relevant as a youth pastor. But I'd rather just sit and talk about Advent. Call back. So I don't know. It looks cool to me, but I am hearing not great stuff about Felicity Jones. People are nervous about her.
I think this is just the internet being the internet. The internet does this thing where
The internet hasn't been wrong yet.
ever. The internet does this thing where
It called Trump.
It falls in love with something, and then about a year later, it hates it.
And then it has to destroy it.
Right.
The tall
and so,
poppy syndrome.
So Star Wars 7 got the love, and now the hate is coming up, and it's gonna be. And
It's like Furbies.
yeah,
It's like bad relationships.
Yeah.
I love you, I hate you.
yeah.
And another fun fact I learned about Rogue One is that Ben Mendelsohn with a mustache looks like David Spade with a mustache. So, Chris, are you going to see Rogue One?
Yeah, I'll see it when it's on demand. Like I see everything else.
So, just going to wait it out.
Will you see it first weekend, Josh?
Probably not first weekend because I don't do much of anything first weekend, but I'll
Because
probably
his
see it.
cloak is at the dry cleaners.
And
His
I think,
Jedi robe.
I think I might try to take my kids to like an opening weekend, not opening day, but
that sounds
opening weekend.
so fun because you know it's Disney, you know it's going to be sanitized, you know there's not going to be any racial components in there.
Yeah, well,
Like-
I'm that as a father, I'm kind of weighing that right now because on the one hand, it's like it's Star Wars and it's Disney, it can't be
Pew,
that
pew,
bad,
pew, pew.
right? But they're trying to make this the dark Star Wars movie,
The gritty Star Wars.
the gritty one. So I'm like, well, will they go there? Will they go to a place where I won't really want my kids in the
Oh
theater
my
for?
gosh, you
Doubt it.
said the word poop. How dare they?
Space poop.
So just floating
Space
just a floating crap emoji. So whatever.
That poop has a smiley face.
Disney cannot do anything dark. Disney has not done anything.
What? They killed Bambi's mom. Spoiler alert.
Well, she probably deserved it. So, what do you think? You're gonna take them opening? Are you gonna see it for sure?
Actually, have you noticed that like lately with kids movies, dark is the way to go? Like they try to make them as sad as possible.
Did you see Frozen?
I don't have any kids, so I haven't seen kids movies since I was a
Yeah,
kid.
Frozen starts with their parents getting killed.
That's not dark. It's just
It
life.
is for a kids movie.
Circle of life.
Or
happens.
Pixar movies are dark now. Have you seen the trailer for the new Pixar movie for the
Rogue
Cars
One?
3? Have you seen the trailer for Cars 3?
Nope.
It's just a car accident.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, that's funny. Larry the Cable Guy just sprawled out all over the road. Or Mead.
It's the
Mater
main
truck?
character getting just wrecked.
Lightning?
Yeah,
Tyrannosaurus.
that's the trailer. The teaser trailer is Lightning getting like into a wreck, into pieces.
We can rebuild
Well, it's
him.
not like they put him in one of those compactors that crushes a car down to a cube. The end of Lightning McQueen. Recycled into soda cans.
So, drink Pepsi. The whole thing is just a Pepsi commercial. So, yeah, whatever. That's not that big of a deal. So, Disney is not going to get dark. I don't know. I think it's interesting. It looks good.
It can't be darker than Empire.
Yeah. It looks like it's going to be relatively enjoyable. I'm going to predict now. How much, Chris, do you think will it make in its opening weekend?
They're saying it's on track for 130 million.
That's not much.
Opening weekend?
If that's just the U.S., then that's a lot.
Yeah, so
That's probably the U.S.
U.S. opening weekend, 130. Is that your guess?
That's what the experts say, so sure.
Yeah, because
I mean-
pollsters are never wrong.
Nope.
I like to think in terms of worldwide release. I don't like restricting the U.S. So I think in worldwide release, the opening weekend will
Globalist.
probably be more like 250.
I'm going to say 170, Bob.
I'm going to say none of these
$1,
numbers mean
Bob.
much to me. So
So we got 130, we got 170. So be sure to leave your comments below. You have any final
176,
any
Bob.
thoughts, Jaime?
No, I mean, other than it's a bad Star Wars movie is still usually a pretty decent movie.
yeah, I'll give you that.
So, I think it's safe to go see it.
It's kind of like a bad Beatles album.
I mean, it ain't going to be no Deadpool, but
Yeah. But what if it
is.
was? What if it was dirtier
is.
than Deadpool?
Well, should Christians have seen Deadpool?
We already did that.
Scroll
video.
back down to our first video, son, and find it.
That's not our first.
Yeah, we talked about that in the very first video.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, February 1st, 2016.
Oh my
That was our first vid.
gosh.
Dun, dun, dun.
So yeah, I'll go see it. I'll see it with the wife probably on a matinee, right? Like on a Monday at 3 in the afternoon because it's cheaper.
Wow, you're old.
Dude.
Are you gonna have some
us
soup at a
old
diner?
folks.
Dude, we
Blue
eat it.
plate special.
If you get to Denny's by 4:30, you can do dinner for both of you for $10.
The problem is they don't salt the food because they know all us old people have blood pressure problems.
So I bring my own salt and we don't have to worry about anything. My wife just steals the napkins. So but I just don't like dealing with crowds and people. This is not a movie to me that's worth dealing with the crowd. There.
This is why, there's a lot of theaters.
We can't have nice things.
No, a lot of theaters are switching to you not only buy a ticket, but you buy a ticket to a specific seat.
Yeah.
And that route that you can do that online, and there's no longer like waiting in lines to get into the theater because
Which
you
is the
bought your
best.
seat. That's why there's AMC dine-in theaters. Those are the best, man.
We'll just talk
Yeah.
over everyone until they let us sit together.
Do you know?
Always Sunny. Love it.
That was funny.
They
so-
need an Always Sunny movie. I would watch that.
That would be worth fighting the crowds for. So Chris, you're going on demand.
On demand,
You're
like
gonna
always.
see it,
I think opening weekend, not opening day.
and then I'll take the middle ground, which means the matinee. There, followed by the blue plate special at Denny's. Any final thoughts as we wrap up this train wreck of an episode?
No, this is a good episode.
All right, and so be sure to see the movie.
Totally worth $1.
If you like this, if you love this video, be sure to like and subscribe. Follow us at facebook.com/faithandwhatever. We're on twitter.com, faithandwhatever. And if you have any suggestions about what you would like us to talk about on the show, faithandwhatever@gmail.com. I'm at Josh_Carmen. Jamothy is at JamesYUILE. Garrett is at TStudentLife, and Chris is at Marion Ranch. Thanks so much for stopping by, and go see it during a matinee.